Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure you're curious about the different personalities, and if you've watched some of the previous interviews, you'll know that we are all unique and different in our own way, although personalities are patterns of behavior. So when you recognize the pattern, you'll understand the personality and how to get along with them. So if you are having some specific challenges with any of the personalities, be sure to put them in the comments and I'll see if I can help you out with understanding why are they like that? Why do they act like that? Which is so different from the way you perceive the world and act and interact with it. Today is about the 5 Contemplator. And I just need to minimize my screen here. There we go, because I've got lots of information for you. So at the Christmas gatherings, if you've seen the Christmas cartoon, I have the 9 personalities sitting around the table, and the 9 personalities reacting differently to what's going on. You know, the 1 perfectors are going to be saying, you know, the rule is the dishes go this way, clockwise, not counterclockwise. And the 2 supporters are, oh, do you need that dish? Can I pass you that? What do you need help with? You know, they might even jump up from the table. Oh, can I help you get the gravy? Or there's a dish missed or something. The 3 achievers are going to be talking about their latest successes of what they've had and what they've accomplished and maybe what they've purchased. So in the cartoon, it's like, look at my new Rolex watch. The 4 expressor is going to be wondering, will my gifts be unique and special? Because they come from a very emotional and sensitive and perspective. When they talk, even their words are very expressive of how they string them together. The 5 Contemplator, which is the one we're going to be talking about today, are the thinkers, the intellects that are going to have the facts and knowledge for you and can quote recent studies and those sorts of things. The 6th questioner is the more worried, anxious personality type. So there's a number of things they might be worried about. Is someone going to be late? Is there going to be, is there going to be ramifications? Did they park the car in the right place? Is that safe? So they're looking for more safety and security. 7 optimisters are fun. They are usually the center of attention. They're telling stories. They're spinning stories. Even things that have happened to them, they'll spin into a very funny story. Or they might not have arrived yet because they're generally always late. They're off having fun. And you know what? We don't hold them accountable because they are so fun. The 8 asserters are the stronger personalities. They are the more dominating personalities, but also the ones who have a big soft heart underneath that we often don't see. And the 9 peace seekers are the ones who let's just all get along because they don't want any sort of conflict at a Christmas gathering. Good luck with that. If there's quite a few people there, there's probably going to be differences of opinion and conflicts. So today I'm going to be talking about those 5 contemplators, the thinkers. They are the introverts of the 9 Enneagram personalities. If the conversation is stimulating for them and it's intellectual and it's a debate and it's not a conflict, they love that sort of thing. That's the juice for them. Did you see that? Let's debate that. Or you have that opinion. Oh, I don't have that opinion at all because the facts or the study I read or etc. They also have challenges with their own energy. So in a big group setting, they often will feel depleted. And sometimes they are the people who will disappear out the back door before they may not even say goodbye. For them, their energy really goes down in group situations. Or they're going to be off observing if it's not a conversation that they want to be part of or that's intellectually stimulating. Because small talk, they hate small talk. So if it looks like there's nothing going to be stimulating them, they'll probably disappear. Or by Christmas time, their energy may be totally burned out. Now, all personalities can feel stress and they can feel tired, but for the 5 contemplators, they are always challenged with, they're always guarding their energy and their resources. Time, money, and energy is one of their biggest values. And if they don't get a lot of sleep, they don't do well. They can't function well. And the other thing about the 5 contemplators is that they let me just see, I'm just seeing if there's any comments here. The other thing about the 5 contemplator is that, what point was I going to tell you? Well, they're very grounded. They're very minimalistic. They're really great listeners. They often, privacy is a really big issue for them. They don't like to share things. They don't like things to be shared about them. But if you do share with them, they hold it very, they won't be telling everyone about it. They're observers. In group situations, they may be off in the corner and over here and observing people, and they're sort of analyzing. So that's why 5 contemplators often love the Enneagram, because it's, the patterns are recognizable. And if you know the patterns, you can predict that certain people are going to react a certain way. So the juice for them is to stand off in the corner and just observe what's going on. And then they run all this information through their mind. That's the juicy part of it, is when they later they take things apart and figure things out, because that's what they do in life. They figure out things. They really love their alone time, and they love to be, they're usually bookworms, or they're the kids at school that are called the nerds. They are brilliant minds. They have very smart minds. They're often very smart people, and you can feel the energy coming from their head. So if you want to engage them, you're going to want to have logical conversations. For people who are emotional or expressing their emotion, like the 4 expressor, that can be a challenging situation in a 4 expressor, 5 contemplator dynamic, because emotions throw the 5 contemplator off. If it's not logical, it really kind of, they're trying to make logic of emotions, and there's no logic in emotions. It's a feeling, and they come up and they're expressed. So that can be a challenge between a 4 and a 5, and some of the other personalities as well. They are calm and serene, and as I said before, they're really great listeners. If you're playing games at Christmas time and you're playing Cranium, you want them on your team. I'm a 2 supporter personality, which is more relationship focused and emotion based. And those games of facts and knowledge and wisdom, they make my head ache. I don't like those ones. I like the interactive ones where people are acting together. So that's one of their gifts too. They are able to stay very grounded in emotional times, and they can help other people become more present and more grounded if they do become emotional. Some people think that they can be unapproachable because they have they can detach. So people find them sometimes cool and unapproachable. What's really going on is they're attempting to figure things out in their head, maybe while they're talking to you. And they don't like to be around people who drains their energy. So if you're looking for some famous people that you might identify with, Bill Gates. If you've seen any videos, especially ones that are, I've seen some that are older videos, when he talks, generally there's not much, like you've seen my hands waving around. For an intellect, their energy comes from their head. Their eyes will often go up, even like mine are now, because I'm accessing my thinking parts. But a lot of energy comes from their head and not a lot of body movement. Another famous person is, guess what? Mark Zuckerberg, who built this amazing platform of Facebook that we're on right now. It takes a very brilliant mind to create a concept, especially a complicated concept like Facebook, and then to implement it. Don't you find Facebook really fascinating, that we can post something and instantaneously anywhere in the world it's seen? Like, I find that just fascinating. And they love to use their heads to solve problems, and and to come up with solutions. And, you know, they spend a lot of time with factual stuff, or they spend a lot of time reading books, or in family dynamics, they often, you know, they want you there while they're reading their books. So they need that alone time, or they're happy to go for walks by themselves because that's the time they take to recharge. Or if they come home from work and it's been really stressful, they may need some downtime by themselves to recharge. So if you have a challenge with the 5 contemplator, maybe relating to them or engaging them or understanding, you know, if you're going to take it as rejection when they whip out the back door, they don't want a lot of attention on themselves. And they know their energy gets depleted very quickly. I had, at one of my trainings, one of the gals said that she said, you know, if she's in a large group, she needs to watch that she has enough energy to get back home before all her energy is depleted. Now, not all 5s are affected to that degree, but their energy is something that they really have to manage, because around other people they can be drained. Stephen King's another famous one. Clint Eastwood, do you remember, this was a year or 2 back, when he thought he'd do this very funny routine talking to the president of the United States, and he put a chair there with nobody in it, and he was going to do this dialogue talking to the, you know, the president of the United States. But later on, I think it was on Ellen, when he was talking about it, he said, you know, I didn't think it through clearly. So as he was doing the dialogue, he'd say something, and there'd be a pause while he was figuring out his next, what else he was going to say. And it was really quite funny. So again, if you have any challenges with people in your family, figure out a solution before you go. Figure out the personality type and change the pattern. That's how you shift everything. Change it to the positive. Instead of being frustrated by, you know, an introvert that's sitting over in the corner and not talking, maybe change your pattern and say, hey, what's going on for you? What are you working on? And what, you know, what are you researching? Find them in their own world. And if you praise each person at your family gathering, that shifts energy, because, you know, we're all human. We all bring last year's and the year before's and the year before's issues with us as we come in the door. And so that's a way to be more loving, learn the 9 Enneagram personalities. And I hope you'll join me tomorrow when I will be talking about the 6 questioner personality. They are more fear, worry, anxiety based. So join me tomorrow, same time, and I look forward to hearing from you.